What's up, hackers? I am back like I never left. I just finished talking up a few minutes ago with Keosha LaFleur Anders, who is going to be joining us for Burn the Rule Book Career Transformation Lab. And now I'm back again with none other than Nicole S. Cooper, and she is also one of our speakers for Burn the Rule Book Career Transformation Lab. And today we are talking about why following the rules won't get you ahead. And it's more so about challenging the status quo and those traditional career rules that may actually be holding you back. There was a survey that was done that showed that 60% of workers feel stuck because they're following outdated career advice, like waiting for promotions or staying loyal to just one company, trying to get that watch. And we're following suggestions that we've made law. That's what I call rules, like climbing the corporate ladder. When that really doesn't always apply, we've proven time and time again that we can make these things happen. So it's really trying to break away from those outdated models. So welcome, Nicole, and I'm gonna hit you right away with our first question. As you even tell us who you are, as if you want to intro that way, but why is following traditional career and business advice no working for most people in today's fast-paced world?
Such a great question. Because I don't even think people think they're following a rule book. I think people think I think we've been so brainwashed on what we're supposed to do that we are like a bunch of robots following a path that is not connected to our identity. And so if we talk about why you shouldn't follow the rule book, well, because who you were born to be and what you were called to do is unique to your gifts, your skills, and your talents. And I tell people, your life should be led by a vision that you have for yourself, not a vision that someone has for you. And as the world continues to shift and change, and as we continue to experience the rapid just altering with AI and technology and all these things are happening, you have to have a vision for yourself on how to pivot and how to navigate in these rapid changes. Otherwise, you're going to get swallowed up and you're going to be left behind because everything requires abrupt shifts. For example, we are now in a stage where AI is no longer an option. I remember it started, a year or two ago, and I had this hesitation. I thought I was compromising my integrity by using this tool. Now you're crazy if you're not using it as a form of leverage to be able to better position yourself in whatever business, career, or path that you're on. And so the ability to have a mind for yourself, the ability to be able to think ahead, the ability to be able to see where you want to go, the ability to have clarity and confidence about your personal direction in life and understanding who you are and what you're called to create and where to start and how to navigate and ways to pivot. This is why you can't follow other people's rules for you, but instead be led by that God ordained vision inside of you so that you know how to advocate for yourself. I just my name is Nicole Cooper and I'm a digital marketing sales consultant. My focus is sales conversions and social selling. So I teach people the whole concept of how to take what it is that you have to offer, position it out into the world, and be able to get people to want to buy it. And with that comes an understanding of the value that you have. You have to know that what you have is so valuable that you can actually get people to say yes and leveraging it where you're going from cold to sold. You're literally going from a cold market online to getting them to say yes and put their credit or debit card numbers in to purchase something from you. When it comes to navigating in today's world, you cannot allow yourself to be sold anybody else's vision, direction, plans, guidance, any of that stuff outside of the vision you have for yourself first. Otherwise, you'll get swallowed up because it's almost like every man for themselves now.
Yeah.
I was just watching something today about Austin and how just 4 years ago, companies like Tesla and Oracle and Google and all these places were flying their ways in here to Austin trying to make it home, only for Oracle to say farewell. We're moving to Nashville. Tesla to be getting rid of 2,100 acres of their land. They're annexing it. But a lot of these companies, Google left not Google, but Meta left 6.1 million square feet of commercial space that they abandoned and didn't even follow through on here because of a lot of the shifts and changes that's happening. And I say that to say corporate companies are going to shift for their own benefit as
Mm,
quickly as they need to navigate.
mm.
And if you don't know how to shift for yourself and don't sit around here hoping and wishing that when they brought you in on signing day and gave you all them beautiful bonuses and promises that they're going to keep that to the end, loyalty is no longer a thing. So that is why you cannot follow the rule book and you got to burn those rules.
Yes, no, you dropped so many gems as you talked about that. And I like that you talked about you have to make disruptive and abrupt changes. And speaking of disruption, what I thought about when you said you have to be living your vision, not someone else's vision, and really not the company's vision. Like you're doing things to help the company create cash flow, but this is on your terms, right? That is
Yeah.
teach you at Burn the Rule Book. And I did it in a podcast episode recently. Like, imagine what it looks like when you are executing somebody else's vision. To us, it looks like me introducing myself and saying, "Hi, I'm Candace Hunt, and I'm so proud of myself for living out Nicole's dreams and executing Jamila and Alicia's values." That's what it looks like. Like, I have to disrupt myself when I'm like, "Is this really for me? Or is this something somebody that said or told me that I should be doing that I'm doing it?" You have to disrupt yourself with that and just make sure that you can insert your name with confidence. So you drop like so many gems. We got some good comments. Jamila is lighting up the chat and she said AI target. Yes, companies are adapting AI. In fact, they've been using it before they even told you they were using it, and they want you to move with them. It's not compromising your integrity. So great point there. Another comment from Jamila: can't follow others rules for you. You have to make sure that you hear what the suggestions are, what the status quo has been, and know that you have capabilities using your skills and strength to break down the status quo. So Nicole, thank you so much for that, and I love how you translate it into what you do. And this is what people are going to get at Burn the Rule Book. So make sure you click the link in the comments to join us at Burn the Rule Book. So here's the next question. I think you gave AI as a really good example, but you also talked about establishing a vision for yourself. So if someone, and don't give them all of it because I just want a couple nuggets that they may expect at Burn the Rule Book. When you look at putting together that strategic vision, what 1 to 2 tips would you give someone on how do you get to a vision that's aligned with you and your purpose and your values? What should they be thinking about?
Great question. I mean, just really two quick tips without going too in depth in it. A lot of times we keep seeing the same thing over and over again, but don't realize that it's our vision. So you might think that it's an idea that's resurfacing or it's some random inspiration or spark from your imagination. And I tell people, I actually was meeting with some clients today. The world that we live in has become such a disruption and distraction to our ability to see because we don't get any quiet time in this day and age. We don't have any white space. We don't have any margin. And a lot of times we don't even know what our thoughts are because we're so inundated with everybody else's opinions and everybody else's suggestions and everybody else's lives and TikTok feeds and Instagram reels and storylines that we don't even know who we are. And so one of the biggest things that I tell people is get a journal and find some time to sit alone, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes, and write down what you see for yourself. Because what happens is, and this happens to me all the time, I will get a very big spark of inspiration when I'm in a place like the shower or I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why we tend to have those random sparks, whether you're sleeping at night, whether you are in shower or you're driving or you're washing the dishes or cleaning the house, is because hopefully there's nothing else in your ear to get your attention. So your brain has a moment to actually rest, number one, from all the noise, and then two, reset itself to remind you of who you are. I tell people dreams in your imagination are illustrations from the book that your soul and your spirit is writing about you. Your dream, your vision, your imagination is God's way of giving you a visual illustration of who you're called to be. And so when you get these sparks, it is your spirit speaking to you to say, hey, 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 remember once upon a time we wanted to become a great cook and bake, we loved baking, or whatever random thought it is. Write it down, because what happens is when, the minute you get up from writing, something else is there to greet you as a distraction. And if you don't write it down, you forget. You literally can forget all that you just visualized for yourself the
Mm-hmm.
minute you walk away from it. And so my first suggestion is get a moment of peace and sit in silence to get clarity so that you can actually write down whatever it is that your vision is, your imagination is showing you for yourself.
Love it.
That's the first. Yeah. And the second thing that I would say is allow yourself to think about the people that you admire. And what do you admire about them? There are often times where we might see people, and I remember my three people were Oprah Winfrey, Marie Forleo, and Joyce Myers.
Mm.
And I sat down one day and just wrote down what is it that I admired about them. And Oprah, I loved her worldwide impact. Joyce, I loved her direct, the way that she was so clear and practical in ministry. And then Marie Forleo was this big personality at the time that was really huge in internet marketing. And she really brought her authentic self into the world of marketing. And I loved those attributes. But I remember writing those attributes out and realized when I crossed their name out and looked at the attributes by itself, it's because I saw something in them that I saw for myself. I saw myself being a global influencer. I saw myself being somebody super practical on the side of ministry, like a Joyce Myers, right? And I saw myself having this authentic way about me when it came into the world of marketing, like Marie Forleo. When you give yourself permission to actually look at what you see that is admirable in other people, you really admire that about them because that's what you see in yourself.
Mm.
And so that is another little nugget, and we can get more into that into Burn the Rule Book. But those are two things, and those are just really personal things that don't take a lot of deep thought. It's just something that is right in front of us that we just don't take the time to address.
No, that was perfect. You mic dropping, and we only 12 minutes in, Nicole. That was phenomenal, and definitely, I want to remind everybody to click the link in the show notes so you can join to get the rest of what she just talked about. Because just those two gems, she said, get some intentional time for peace. We had someone who commented, Jamila, and she said she's a shower kind of girl, and it is an ideation haven. And I love the way
Yeah,
you said, like, this is a time where your mind is not even doing something else. I actually I listen to Audible in the shower because I know I can actually focus in the shower and not be distracted by something else. But I love how Jamila, and she takes 3 showers a day. She said the vision is clear and plain in there. And this is, I wanted to put this comment up because she said she speaks to Siri in the shower directly. And this is going back to that AI debunking the myth that you're cheating the system. You've been using AI anyway because Siri is a form of AI. So I want to free some
right.
by saying that tonight, that if you use Siri, you use AI, and it's okay. ChatGPT, these are resources and tools to help you get better. So thank you, Nicole, for sharing that. So this is what I'm thinking about as our last question, because I know we're wrapping up here soon, because and I'm thinking about how we got to this, because Jamila, Alicia, and I, the three of us, grew up in retail operations, marketing, HR, all those fields, right? And there was this roadmap, we would call it, where it would suggest like timelines of, okay, so do this job, you do assistant manager for 4 years, and then that makes you eligible for promotion to store manager. You do that for 4 years, and then you keep climbing the ladder like that. And then so when we inside of our careers would basically defy the odds, right, and do it sooner, we were even a little shocked ourselves. They're like, oh, I didn't have to wait 4 years. And of course, a lot of outside noise came with that of like, well, how did they do it? And that's not what the roadmap says, right? And so I was just sitting here recalling a time where I actually shocked myself by not following the rule. And that was the moment when I realized that it was just a suggestion. And I use that to keep building momentum and say, okay, well, if I could do this in 2.5, then I can do the next one in a year and a half, right? But we've all had those moments where we thought we were going to follow the rules and we thought we were going to follow the path, but we were shown that we couldn't. Do you have a similar moment of maybe, and this is for the audience too, feel free to share, where maybe there was a time where you followed some career advice and it didn't work out the way you thought it would? What Tell me a little bit about that if you have a story similar, and if there's any final thoughts you want to add with it, let's use that time to do so.
I mean, the whole go to school, get a degree,
Go.
and get a job. Um, Now I'm glad I went to college. College changed my life. College got allowed me to discover who I am and who I'm not.
Hmm.
And I realize I'm not your traditional person that's gonna walk the path. I'm that Sesame Street kid where one of these kids are doing their own thing. I'm always doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. But just taking that whole path, I remember being in college and trying to figure out what my major would be. And I always saw myself as a business owner and an entrepreneur, but I didn't know the terminology at the time. I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, and I didn't even know where you started with that, right? So I just remember being a kid and going to McDonald's, getting Happy Meals, and asking my mama, who owns this place? And how many people do you think come every day? And how much do you think they make every day? And then driving and seeing big mansions and being like, what do these people do for a living? Because I don't think they have a job like you got a job, mama, because our house is not like that. You go to work every single day, right? So I just remember those simple little curiosities about myself. And I still went to college because I felt like that was the only known step, especially coming from South Central LA. It was like, listen, use it as an escape to get up out of here. Um, but I remember when I had to choose a major because I kept changing my major, and I'll never forget my counselor was like, "You don't have a choice." Like she called me in and was like, "You are not leaving until you choose a major." And I was like, "All right, well, tell me what the top five highest earning majors are." And she told me, and the first two were medical stuff, and I was like, "I don't want to deal with blood. I don't like science. I don't want to deal with that." What's number three? And three was IT. It was tech, and I was like, "Oh, sign me up for that."
Hmm.
And she signed me up for IT, and I went on ahead and got declared my major as information technology. And then they next step for us was go get an internship. So I remember going to these warehouse type intern like fairs and going from company to company that all felt so boring. It was like the power company and the phone company. I was like, I don't want to work at any of these places. But I did end up getting a internship with Bell South at the time, which was now AT&T.
Hmm.
And so I got this internship, and I remember saying to myself, I'm a finish what I start, but I don't think I ever want to do corporate after I do this intern. I was sitting in a cubicle, watching everybody drink black coffee and watch everybody. And I was like, do we go to school to be sitting up in these cubicles for the rest of our life? And my building was right off of Peachtree, West Peachtree. 675 West Peachtree is a tower. So in Atlanta, so you're overlooking 75, 85. And I just remember looking at all these people in the middle of the day saying, where are they going and why are they not at work and why am I at work?
Hmm.
And I just remember telling myself, okay, I'm gonna finish this internship because it required 4 quarters at the time. I had to keep going back and forth to school. And I told them, I said, listen, I don't want to keep going back and forth to school. Can I just stay and complete this? Because I wanted to complete this. But I was like, when I walk out this building and give them this badge, I will never wear anybody else's badge again. And I didn't. I left and I became a waitress at Red Lobster. How about that? How do you like that as an alternative option with a college degree? Um, but I became a waitress and a substitute teacher in an effort to figure out who I needed to be. And I'll never forget how embarrassed my parents were. They were like, you went all the way to college, you got this degree to be working at Red Lobster and being a substitute teacher. Like, come on. And I
Yes.
was like, well, I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. I don't want to work for corporate. Yes, I could have had an $80,000 a year tech job and all that stuff, but none of that appealed to me. The building didn't appeal to me, and the cubicle life and the badge life and the I was always crying at the thought of it. And so that's kind of like my story of burning the rule book. I became a waitress until I got my real estate license and became a real estate agent and then became a real estate investor. And as they say, the rest is history. I've been working for myself ever since. And that was, over 24 years ago when I graduated college. So it's a my whole life is burning books. I burn everybody's rules. I don't live to fit into anybody's pattern or path, and it's worked really well. It is very frustrating because nobody really has a roadmap for you. You really do have to be led by your vision. So sometimes it feels like a guessing game, but hey, that's where faith comes in, and it's one of the greatest explorations and adventures you can ever experience. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but it's been a really fun ride.
Yes, yes, love that. Yes, and that is where faith comes in. Faith alongside God's plan, and then we're gonna be giving you strategy as well. That's gonna help you still operate in your faith and help you make that transformation. So, Nicole, what a phenomenal story you shared. Again, if anybody else wants to put their comments of maybe a time where you followed the rules and it didn't work the way you thought it was gonna work, we want to share with you. We want to hear from you so we can invite you to the place, either Burn the Rule Book or inside of our community where we can help you overcome that. But I'm so glad you used the college career example because the burning question that I'm getting when I'm talking about Burn the Rule Book is who is this for? And your story share of what you experienced coming out of college and how that helped you get to your vision and your purpose faster. I think maybe the person who should be an attendee at Burn the Rule Book. This is also for college students, recent graduates. You don't have to get it out of the mud or go and try the rule to figure out that you could have made your own. We want to get you there faster than myself. You can move at Nicole's speed or faster by joining this. But this is also for recent graduates. This is for burnout professionals. This is for aspiring leaders. Or maybe you're mid career and just feeling stagnant. We want to give you the tools at Burn the Rule Book to help you pivot in your confidence, in your career, and in your compensation. And we're going to be talking about 3 areas that night, and it's going to be preparation, position, and purpose. And you're going to have Nicole S. Cooper on the night of position because she is I think Jamila put it in the comments, you are the digital marketing guru. She gets paid to come up with strategies that help people excel in their personal and their professional development. And she's coming that night to do the same thing. So you don't want to miss it. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us today. And before I to go, if you have any final thoughts, any maybe something I didn't mention that would make sure that one understands why they need to click the link, purchase the tickets, just give us your final thoughts before we wrap the night up.
I mean, I think this is a rare message. I think right now people are so inundated with information, but you really need to get some insight about how to play this game right now in the world that we're in. I see there is a lot of uncertainty because people are like hearing all these rumors about so many different variations of life that you really do need to clue in into more conversations about how are other people approaching it. What strategic moves are they making? How are they being prepared? I was telling somebody the other day, I said it's this is a time where your mental game has to be so strong because you have to stand firm in your follow through in a season where everything seems uncertain. And so you have to have a sense of fortitude and drive unlike no other in this current state of the economy because everybody has all of the news on all social media is telling you what's about to happen, what's not about to happen. The world's falling apart. You need to do this, you need to do that. And if you're not listening to the right conversations, you're going to tap out. And so this is not the time to tap out. It's the time to zone even greater in. And I think what you guys are doing is super phenomenal and one of the best ways for people to figure out what they should be focusing on and how to navigate at a time where it's so much uncertainty.
Yes, love it, love it. We are here to help you filter through the noise and debunk the myths that you should follow the rules. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where they can find you and why they need you at Impact Black Life ATX, praying bold prayers. Tell them where to find you and why they need you.
Follow me on social media, all Nicole S. Cooper, Nicoles as in Sam and Cooper. We do have a community Black Life ATX. And then I also am launching my school called Six Figure Skills Academy. So you can follow us at that social media page. We're in transition right now, doing a lot of, we're pivoting. We're
Oh,
going from being just focusing on being a service-based agency to now actually running a school to teach other people how to turn their skills into six-figure services that they can now be able to navigate if they need to do so independently without having to work a job and still get paid the same kind of wages. And so, yeah, so they can follow me at any of those three, but Nicole S. Cooper is everywhere from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram, TikTok, and everything in between.
yes. And if you want to see Nicole again at Burn the Rule Book Career Transformation Lab, click the link. If you want to get 20% off, put Nicole as a coupon code to get your 20% off using Nicole's code. We are so excited, Nicole, that you agreed to join us tonight. We're so excited to having you at Burn the Rule Book, and we look forward to tomorrow. Thank you again, my
Yeah,
love. Here.
absolutely. Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Yes, you too. Take care, everybody. Burn the Rule Book. Link in the comments, link in the description. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.